So we've got these QVC Twister Trax car things. The kids love them, but they keep revving them and breaking them. So if I turn this on, it's got a battery in, the wheels turn, put on the desk, it's not moving. So what they've done is they've actually broken these wheels, so the wheel doesn't spin with the cog here. So to fix that, we're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver and some glue. So there's 3 screws here, here, here and here, which we need to unscrew. Still in there. Coming out. So 3 screws, the switch and the chassis will come off, and we'll be left with the batteries, the front wheels, the circuit board and the motor. To get this off, there are 2 screws here, here, and there's a screw here on the circuit board which we need to take out, and a screw here on the circuit board which we can just loosen because we're going to have to get this second chassis up. And there's a light attached just here which we can pull out, and then we can just take the second chassis off, and it sits slightly underneath the circuit board which we just need to move a little bit. Just put that back in so I can show you how this looks before it's deconstructed. Something like that. So we have the big cog here which attaches to the motor, with the smaller wheel coming off which attaches to the second cog. And there's a smaller cog here which attaches to the cog on the wheel. You can just see it over there, over the wheel. So we can take that off, and we can see the cog which is on the axle. So a fix I've had to do before the wheels broke was to just move the axle cog onto the thicker part of the axle. So there's a little bit of resistance here. Usually the motor's in the way. So what we can see here is the cog should spin the whole axle and the axle should spin the wheel, but yeah, we need to glue these wheels back on so they don't move with the axle. Well, they move with the axle so they don't move independently. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean because there's some hair in there. And what I'm going to do is take some, I believe this is just plastic super glue. So take some of this and turn it with the wheels And then we need to work it in a bit. Okay, that's a bit brighter. So twist the wheel, pivot it a bit if you can. Make sure it all lines up so it's perfectly square to the axle. Take a bit of tissue and get rid of any excess glue. Okay, so wait a few seconds and then that should be fine. Now we're going to move this cog down. You can see there's a thicker bit here, which is where the cog sits. So sometimes the cog does come off of there. Just need to put it back on. So I'm going to clean some of the gunk out here. Try not to clean off all the grease. It's greasy for a reason. Now we're just going to glue the other side. Okay, and again we're going to just work that on. Try not to glue your hands to it. Take another part of the tissue and wipe off the excess. And now ever so gently on the wheel, in case it's not completely hardened or dried, you need to move it away from the super glue ace after it goes over. Okay, so that's gone back on there onto the thick part. And now that should turn the wheels with the axle. Right, we're going to put it back in now. So, with the cog away from the circuit board, goes in there. We need to lift the circuit board up a little bit. We need to move the motor out the way just a little bit. It's quite fiddly. And then we need to press it into the slots. There we go. And now without putting it down, you're going to have to put the small cog in here. Okay. And then we take the big cog and put it in here. Put the motor back down if it's popped out. Okay. And then we're going to have to get this back on. So we're going to have to lift the circuit board slightly and slot that under. Be careful not to knock any of the cogs out of place. Still, without putting it down, put at least one screw back in. Just slot that back in. Yeah, the other screw didn't actually come out in the end. That's fine. find this screw's the most awkward. Go here, you. Good enough. Right, then we take this. There's two sides. There's a thicker side on one bit, and that's going to go on the switch. And then take the chassis and put it back on. Just clamp it with your hands. And then put the screws back in. And hopefully it should work. There we go. Good as new. No need to spend 15 quid on a new one.